My brothers and sisters, one of the biggest misconceptions we have today is that the only way to earn a living is through a job, an office, a desk, a monthly salary. We've been trained to believe that if we don't have a job, we're failures. If someone asks, "What do you do?" and we say, "I don't have a job," suddenly we feel ashamed as if we have no worth. But let me remind you with love and sincerity, your worth is not measured by your job. Your worth is in who you are before Allah. The one who created you is the same one who provides for you. He doesn't need a company to sign your paycheck to feed you. He doesn't require an employer's approval to send you your raise. The birds that fly out every morning, they don't carry CVs or apply for positions, yet they return full. Why? Because Allah provides. That's what He does. He is our Razak, the ultimate provider. So don't tie your sense of security to a job. A job is just one of the many means Allah may use to bring you sustenance. But it is not the source. Never confuse the means with the source. The company might give you the money, but the one who put it in their heart to hire you and continue paying you is Allah. And when Allah wants to give, He doesn't need any middleman. He can send it to you in ways you never imagined. Some people work hard, have all the qualifications, apply everywhere, and still don't get employed. Others with half the skills somehow get accepted. Why? It's not about how good you are on paper. It's about the will of Allah. He opens doors for whom He wills, and when He closes one, it's only because He wants to guide you to a better one. Perhaps a path you never considered because you were too focused on what everyone else was doing. We've created this belief that if you don't have a 9 to 5, then you're lazy, unsuccessful, or not serious about your future. But some of the greatest minds, the most successful businesses, and the most spiritually content individuals never walked that path. They trusted Allah and used what He gave them to create, serve, and earn in a way that didn't require chasing positions. They understood that provision is written. What is yours will reach you, and what is not meant for you will never come, no matter how hard you try. This is not an invitation to sit at home and do nothing. No, Islam teaches us to tie our camel, to make effort. But what kind of effort? An effort that is paired with trust, tawakkul, not just wishful thinking, not just chasing and running behind people, hoping they'll change your life. No, life changes when you turn sincerely to the one who gave you life. If you turn to Him, you'll realize that your job doesn't define your future. Your Lord does. You may not have an office job, but maybe your hands know how to build. Maybe your voice teaches others. Maybe your heart is sincere in service. Use that. Don't look down on the means that Allah has placed around you simply because they don't carry a fancy title. A man selling fruit with honesty and dignity is more respected in the eyes of Allah than someone with a high position who lies, cheats, or oppresses others. That fruit seller is not jobless. He is working with integrity, trusting in the provision of his Lord. And how many people have been humiliated at the hands of employers, mistreated, overworked, underpaid, and they stay only because they fear losing their income. They feel trapped as though their rise depends on that employer. But I ask you, how can a human hold your sustenance when your Lord already wrote it before you were born? Take the means, yes, but don't become dependent on the means. Be dependent on the one who created the means. Sometimes losing a job is the best thing that can happen to you. It shakes you, it wakes you. It forces you to look within and find that spark you ignored for too long. Many people only discovered their skills, their businesses, their service to the world after they were pushed out of a comfort zone they thought was their only chance. But Allah had something better for them. He always does. You may think the door is closed, but in reality, Allah is redirecting you. So don't sit in sadness. Don't think it's the end. Don't chase people, hoping they'll open your door. Raise your hands and chase the one who already knows which door is yours. When He opens it for you, no human can shut it. When He opens it for you, no human can shut it. One of the greatest tragedies in life is when a person walks through this world not knowing what Allah has placed inside of them. Too many people look outside for opportunity, but they forget to look within. Don't you realize that the same Lord who created the mountains and oceans, who gave the birds their wings and the trees their shade, has also gifted you with something unique? You are not an accident, you were created for a reason. And within you, there is a talent, a skill, a spark waiting to be awakened. We've been taught to compare ourselves to others. So we chase what others chase. We copy what others do. And in doing that, we bury the very gift that makes us different. You see someone is good at business and you say, let me try business. But maybe Allah gave you a different kind of rizq. Maybe you're the one who's meant to write, to teach, to create, to repair, to support. But you'll never know what Allah has given you if you're too busy trying to be someone else. This is why people feel lost. They follow a path that doesn't belong to them. They get tired, frustrated, confused. It's like wearing shoes that don't fit. You can walk, but it will hurt. You'll never walk far in someone else's shoes. You were meant to walk your own path. And part of faith is trusting that Allah didn't make a mistake when He gave you your personality, your abilities, your circumstances. All of it was intentional. The question is, will you use it? Sometimes we think talent only means being able to sing or act or start a company. But no, talent in the eyes of Allah is so much more. It could be your patience with children. It could be your ability to explain something clearly. It could be the way your hands fix what's broken or how your heart knows how to comfort others. These are not small things. These are divine gifts. Use them. Look at the people around you. Some of the most successful individuals are not the ones with the best degrees or the highest grades. They are the ones who discovered what they were good at and they didn't ignore it. They nurtured it, developed it, and used it to benefit others. That's the key, not just discovering your talent, but using it with purpose. When you do something sincerely for the sake of helping, serving, building, Allah puts barakah in it. And when He puts barakah, what was small becomes great. Too often, people say, I don't have anything. I'm not good at anything. But that's not true. That's just Shaitan whispering in your ear. That's just years of comparison and negativity weighing on your soul. You do have something. Even if you haven't discovered it yet, it's there. It just needs time, effort, and reflection. Think about what comes naturally to you. What do people thank you for? What have you loved doing since you were young? These are signs. Allah doesn't hide your talent from you. He invites you to search for it. And once you find it, don't wait for permission to use it. You don't need a stage to perform your best. Start small. Teach a child. Serve your community. Make something with your hands. Share your knowledge. Begin from where you are with what you have. Don't look at the numbers. Don't chase followers. Don't wait for applause. Just begin. Because Allah is watching and He is the one who multiplies your sincere efforts. Some of the companions of the Prophet were traders. Some were warriors. Some were poets. Some were teachers. Each one served the deen in their own way. They didn't all walk the same path, but they all walked with sincerity. So don't think you need to follow a certain formula to succeed. Your path is your own. And when you walk it for the sake of Allah, He will guide your steps. Even if the world doesn't recognize your gift, don't stop. Recognition is not the goal. Pleasure of Allah is. If He is pleased with your effort, then that is success. And you never know. What seems small to you might be huge in the sight of your Lord. The smile you gave, the advice you shared, the help you offered. It could be the very deed that opens the doors of His mercy for you. So my brothers and sisters, don't waste your life chasing someone else's purpose. You were not created to be a copy of another. You were created to be the best version of who you are. Discover what Allah gave you and use it. Don't let it go to waste. Don't wait for the perfect moment. That moment is now. Use what Allah placed inside you and watch how He opens doors you never imagined. Sometimes when we think about starting something, whether it's a business, a project, a new way of earning, we imagine something huge. We picture a perfect system, the ideal setup, lots of resources, everything in place. And because we can't reach that image right away, we don't start at all. But life doesn't work like that. Allah doesn't expect perfection from us. He expects sincerity and He expects effort. We've been conditioned to think that only grand beginnings matter. That if you can't launch big, you shouldn't launch at all. But the reality is, some of the greatest blessings in life begin quietly, with almost nothing. A seed buried in the dirt, a small idea shared with one person, a product sold from the corner of your room, a service offered to a neighbor. That's how growth happens, with humble beginnings. Look at the Prophet Muhammad A. When he started his mission, there were only a few believers. They were mocked, isolated, tortured. From the outside, it looked like failure. But Allah was with them. He saw their sincerity. He saw their effort. And He gave their work the kind of barakah that echoes across centuries. Never underestimate what can come from a small, sincere beginning. You might say, but I don't have the resources. Or, I don't know where to start. Start with what you do have. Start where you are. Do something small, but do it with the right intention. If you have one skill, use it. If you have one product, offer it. If you have one person to teach, teach them. The Prophet said, the most beloved of deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are small. Allah looks at your effort, not your audience. We live in a world obsessed with results, numbers, followers, profits, popularity. And if you don't see instant results, you feel like giving up. But in the eyes of Allah, it's not about how quickly you rise, it's about how purely you begin. A tiny stream becomes a mighty river, but it begins drop by drop. A small act repeated with sincerity builds something powerful. Don't let the size of your beginning make you feel discouraged. When you do something purely for the sake of Allah, He places barakah in it. And when He places barakah, the little becomes enough and the small becomes strong. There are people who started businesses from their kitchen, services from their garage, teaching from their living rooms. And today they are thriving, not because they had everything figured out, but because they had sincerity, patience, and trust in Allah. Sometimes people delay action because they want it to be perfect. I'll start once I've saved more. I'll begin after I've done more research. I'll wait until I have better tools. But in waiting, you lose time. You lose momentum. You lose opportunities. Do your best to plan, yes, but don't wait forever. Life will never be perfect. The perfect time is now, and Allah will guide you along the way. He does not ask you to have all the answers before you begin. He only asks that you begin with faith. And when you do start, don't worry if people don't notice right away. Don't expect applause. Don't expect immediate success. The people who are truly successful are those who focus on serving, not shining. Serve with your heart. Show up with sincerity. Do what you do for the sake of Allah, because when you do it for Him, you'll never be disappointed. People's praise can disappear, their support can fade, but Allah never forgets the effort you make for Him. Even if it's something small, like baking bread, designing clothes, tutoring one student, editing one video, fixing one thing, do it beautifully. Do it with gratitude. Don't say, it's just a small thing. There is no such thing as a small deed when it is done with a big heart. The angels are recording every honest moment, every pure intention, every ounce of effort. That's what matters. And remember, when you walk toward Allah with your effort, He runs toward you with His mercy. You may feel like your steps are small, but they are noticed, they are accepted. And through them, Allah may open doors you never even considered. You don't need the whole staircase to take the first step. Just take it. Say Bismillah and begin. You might not see results today or tomorrow, but stay consistent. Don't stop after a week. Don't quit when things get tough. Keep going even if it's slow. That's how you build something lasting. Success is not in how fast you move, it's in how long you stay sincere. So my brothers and sisters, don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for the stars to align. Start now. Start small. Start with sincerity. And watch how Allah grows your effort into something far greater than you imagined. Start with sincerity and Allah will handle the rest. One of the traps we fall into today is depending too much on other people for our success, for our livelihood, for our direction in life. We wait for approval. We wait for permission. We wait for someone to hire us, to promote us, to open a door for us. But let me tell you something very important. If you build your life on dependency, you'll always be at the mercy of someone else's decision. And when they walk away, you'll feel lost. Allah never asked you to depend on His creation. He asked you to depend on Him. That doesn't mean we don't deal with people. Of course we do. But our hope, our trust, our reliance, that should always be with the Creator, not the creation. When you start to understand this, everything in your life begins to change. You stop begging. You stop chasing. You stop fearing loss. Because you know that your value does not come from a person. It comes from your Lord. When we talk about building value, we don't just mean financial success. We mean building something that has weight, something that has meaning, something that lasts. This could be a skill you refine, a service you offer, a business you create, or even a simple act that benefits others regularly. And when you create something of value, something real, you stop needing to depend on people to provide for you. You're no longer waiting for the world to hand you a chance. You've already started making one. Too many people give up their power because they believe they don't have value unless someone else says so. But you already have value. You just have to unlock it. What do you know that others don't? What can you offer that makes someone else's life easier? Think about that. The moment you begin to serve sincerely, your value rises. Not only in people's eyes, but in the sight of Allah. We've seen it again and again. People who were rejected from jobs, who were overlooked and dismissed, went on to build things far greater than any job they were seeking. They used the very rejection as fuel. They didn't sit and complain. They stood up, and with the help of Allah, they created something. And now, instead of asking for opportunity, they are giving opportunity to others. That's the shift we need. From asking to offering, from waiting to initiating, from dependency to dignity. This doesn't mean you'll never face struggle. You will. But there's a big difference between struggling with dignity and struggling with dependency. One builds you, the other breaks you. When you build value, even your hardships have purpose. Even your failures teach you something. And eventually, with patience and trust in Allah, those struggles bear fruit. You see, when your entire life is tied to one job, one title, one source, it becomes dangerous. Because if that one thing is taken away, everything crumbles. But if you build something yourself, with your hands, your mind, your heart, your effort, then even if one door closes, the foundation is still strong. You've built with Allah's help, and He never lets sincere effort go to waste. There's also barakah in independence, not arrogance, not pride, but independence in the sense that you can stand on your own 2 feet, knowing your provision comes from your Lord, and He allowed you to serve others through your own path. There is honor in that. The Prophet A said the upper hand is better than the lower hand. The hand that gives is better than the hand that begs. So be someone who adds value, not someone who waits for it from others. It's also important to remember that building value doesn't always mean becoming famous or rich. It means becoming useful. It means being a source of benefit, no matter how small. A mother raising her children with love and sincerity is building value. A teacher educating one student with passion is building value. A young man who starts repairing bicycles in his neighborhood with honesty and skill, he is building value. You don't need the world to see it. Allah sees it. And when Allah sees your honest work, your patient efforts, your intention to benefit others, He places acceptance in the hearts of people. Suddenly, you find support, growth, and even provision in places you didn't expect. But it starts with your choice. Will you depend on people, or will you build something with Allah's help? Don't wait for someone else to give you a platform. Don't wait for the world to tell you that you're worth something. Your worth was written the day you were born. Your job is to bring that worth into action, to create, to serve, to give. That's what it means to build value. That's how you stop depending on others. And that's how you begin to live with strength and purpose. When you build with value, you don't have to chase anything, because what is meant for you will come to you.